So we are all quite used to the big websites and apps that we use every day. But looking at their first versions, it's a miracle that some of these made it this far. So today we'll see how 5 digital products that we use every day look like when they first launched. Starting with Twitch. Today, Twitch hosts live streams from more than 8 million people every month. But its origins go back to 2007, when it was originally designed to host just one single live stream. The website was called Justin TV, and it was a 24/7 live stream of the life of its founder, Justin Kan. He was living with a webcam on his head and a laptop in his backpack to try to stream every moment of his life. And this was the first time anyone ever done this on the web. And this attracted some good amount of media attention. But in that summer of 2007, they realized that this had far more potential than just streaming the life of Justin. So they expanded the platform and opened it up to all users. And this was the first step towards the Twitch that we know today. And the second step was realizing the importance of gamers. Gaming was just a niche, one of the many categories that you had on Justin TV, but it was growing really fast. And at one point, the team at Justin TV realized that they had something big on their hands. So much so that they decided to spin off a separate company to focus just on gaming. And this company was called Twitch. Gamers found a home on Twitch, and they skyrocketed the platform to 40 million monthly viewers in 2013, while Justin TV was closed in 2014. What the story of Twitch can teach us is that sometimes the users that will bring your products to the next level are already there. It's just your job to find out who they are and build a product just for them. And one audience that desperately needed a better product was people illegally downloading music in the 2000s. We are in 2008 and Spotify has finally launched officially in Sweden, France and the UK. And this is how it looked like. And you know what? It's actually not too different from the Spotify that we use today, but it clearly took inspiration from iTunes, which was the biggest music software at the time. And Spotify has a big rival, and it was not another company or another player, it was music piracy. Most people back in the day were illegally downloading music to put them on their iPods and MP3 players. And Spotify was just on desktop because there was no mobile version of it. But in 2008, smartphones started to get traction, and this was the perfect time for Spotify as they released their iPhone and Android apps to finally bring music streaming to mobile. And at the time, being able to stream music on the go was something quite extraordinary. Just consider that the first iPhone didn't even have 3G. Spotify was able to win against music piracy. A competitor was basically free. They also made money in the process, and all of this is because they built a product that was just more convenient to use. So yes, pirating a song was free, but the process was so painful that paying a few bucks a month for unlimited music streamed directly on your phone was just a better deal. And if you think illegally downloading a song to your iPod was complicated, then you should have tried buying Bitcoin. Buying Bitcoin in 2012 was a very sketchy experience. Crypto was unknown to most people and it was just a novelty for enthusiasts. So Coinbase arrived in 2012 and this is how it looked like. It was very similar to PayPal and it tried to be as clean and as trustworthy as possible. No complicated explanations about Bitcoin or blockchain. Coinbase was trying to hide its complexity. And as you can see, at the time they framed Bitcoin as a way to receive and send money more than something to invest into. And the user interface heavily reflected that. Coinbase was successful because they were able to hide the complexity of blockchain and Bitcoin. And they also took the challenge of being US based, which made things a lot more complex, but it also added a lot to their trustworthiness. Almost every new technology starts from a core of early users and innovators that are deep into the technical aspects and try to champion this new technology. In the case of crypto, the first companies catered to this small audience of enthusiasts. But to cross the river and get to the majority of people, you have to shift your product completely. While the early adopters are excited by the technology and like to get into the details, breaching into the mainstream means you have to focus on simplicity, hiding the technology and putting front and center the real value that it brings to people. Which in this case was using a new kind of digital currency to exchange money, buying it from someone you can trust and not giving a fuck about how a SHA-256 algorithm works. And I think in a couple of years we'll start to see the first movies that romanticize the early days of crypto. And most likely we're gonna watch them on Netflix. Netflix in 2007 was a service that sent you DVDs in your mail, so you didn't have to go to the video store. Yep, remember the video stores? And meanwhile, they launched on the side a new service called Watch Now, a streaming alternative where you could watch all your movies directly on your computer. And starting from the sign-up page, the difference is huge. In 2011, most of the information was about explaining to people what a movie streaming service actually is, because it was something new that didn't exist before. And just look at how much text and space they are using to explain that. And by contrast, today's Netflix sign-up page is a masterpiece in digital minimalism. And here is the homepage of Netflix itself. Now, one thing that we can see already is on the page that we're already putting personalized recommendations front and center. And if you look at Netflix today, personalization is the name of the game. Everything that you see has been selected by an algorithm to perfectly tailor to your taste. And personalization will be the secret weapon that allowed them to get to the point where they are today. But they don't stop there. They go as far as changing the thumbnail image of each show to tailor to your taste. If the system, for example, detects that you are more likely to click on an image of a fight scene, it will put those as a thumbnail, regardless of the show or movie. And this level of personalization will keep increasing in the future, and is something that the physical world simply cannot enable. Think about going to a physical store. You have a limited selection, and it must be displayed in the same way for all the customers. And this is what crossed the mind of another guy in 1994. So he moved to Seattle, got a garage, and this is the result. The first version of Amazon launched in 1995, and here you could buy books and, well, not much else. Amazon started as an online bookstore, and by looking at their homepage, the first thing that we can see is that the way people were using the internet back then is very different than today. A web page was basically an essay that you read from start to finish, maybe clicking on some hyperlinks in the meantime. Fast forward to 1999, Jar Jar Binks made its appearance in theaters, and this is how the website looked like. It evolved to something more recognizable. And one of the main differences versus today is that the website pushed you to shop by categories and discover hand-picked products from each one. But today, on the other hand, categories are basically invisible, and you are pushed to use search or use the personalized recommendations that Amazon gives you. So if you have an entrepreneurial spirit, if you are a builder, looking at this V1, this beta version, this 1.0, puts everything in perspective. You don't have to be overwhelmed by the massive scale and success of these companies, because they all started from something very basic, very simple, even sometimes really bad. But they were able to grow out of it and evolve. And this gives us all permission to try and make the first step toward creating something new. If you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel, and here is another one that you might enjoy.